morning, dear students. My name is Dr. Shuaib Mohammad Bhat. I am working as Assistant Professor in the Department of English at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today in this video lecture, we shall be discussing about the role of feedback in improving writing skill. What is the role of feedback in improving writing skill? So we all know there are certain components. There are different components which are important for this writing skill. So it's not only like you start writing anything, you feel, yeah, you are good at writing. So there is actually a proper process, as I told you, like the ideation is there. When you start thinking about an idea, so you are using your cognitive abilities, you are using your mental abilities to think, to imagine any idea. So after that, you are giving it a shape in your mind, and then you think that you need to you should write it. So when you write anything, and it's not only like you wrote it and people have read it and that is the end of the process. No, there is one more process after you finish writing, after you finish like making it public, publishing it, or if you provide it to the people, to the public by any way, so they read it. This is not the end of your writing process. No. After you finish the writing of any document or any script, when it is being given to the public or when it is being made public, so the real communication or the real writing starts when it reaches in the hands of the public. Because there you will get a feedback. That feedback will let you know how far are you successful while deliberating or while expressing your ideas on that particular topic. So feedback, it's not like though it is being given at the end of the communication or at the end of an activity or at the end of a process, but it is this feedback which initiates the effective beginning of that activity. So once you are done with your writing, if your writing is all flawless, there is no mistake, there is no weakness, there is no drawback. So you come to know this thing by the feedback of your readers. So that's why I told you that it is this feedback, though it is being given at the end, but it initiates, it starts the effective beginning of that activity. So you come to know, after you receive the feedback, you come to know, yes, the worth of your work, the value and credibility of your work. And if it contains some flaws, some drawback, obviously we are humans, there may be an error, there may be any mistake. So when you come to know about that mistake, when you come to know about that error, when you come to know about that drawback, so you start mending it, repairing it. You start revising your written process, your written material. So in that case, or in that sense, I speak that though feedback is given at the end of an activity or at the end of any communication, so it is this feedback which initiates its effective beginning. So when you start now mending it, so you are trying to make it more effective and exact and correct in many senses, whether it is grammar, whether it is content, whether it is linguistic style, or whether it is something else. So it's your feedback which marks or which makes the effective beginning of all of your activities where you are receiving the feedback. Now let's see what is the role of feedback in improving writing skill. We shall be here talking about the role of feedback with reference to the writing skill only. What is its role? What does feedback do with the writing skill? Let's see. So when we talk about the introduction, the role of feedback in improving writing skill is pivotal. This feedback, it shares or it is having a major role when it comes to writing skill. So in improving writing skill, feedback is important. If you want to improve your writing skill, so you need to go with the feedback. You should appreciate the feedback, and you should always seek for the constructive feedback and the critical feedback. Because when you seek for the feedback about your writing, you will get to know about the positive point, and about the negative point or negative points about your writing. So you will be able to locate and identify your weak and strong zones in your writing. Writing skill is a dynamic skill. It shapes your ideas, it shapes your emotions, it shapes your feelings. Writing is not only you are having a page of a paper in front of you and a pen in your hand and you start. It's not only the strokes of the pen, or it's not only the noise which you are making when you are just pushing the keys of the keyboard. That only is not writing, it's beyond it. As I told you, it's a dynamic process. It shapes your ideas, and you are shaping your ideas with the help of writing. You are shaping your emotions, you are expressing your emotions. So you are just creating a new world for yourself with the help of writing. And people discover a lot of things with the help of writing. And people explore different things with the help of writing. So this writing, in order to improve now this writing skill, which is dynamic, which plays a vital role in everybody's life, which is a cornerstone for the communication, bedrock of communication, which is one of the important skills for language acquisition. So in order to improve this great, this important, this beneficial skill, you need to just do one thing. You need to always seek for the feedback. And it is your feedback. It is feedback which will give you a kind of opportunity, or it provides a space by which you can improve this dynamic writing skill. Effective feedback, it serves as a powerful tool for learners. It provides valuable insights, guidance, and motivation to enhance their writing abilities. As I told you, you should always seek for the constructive feedback. Critical feedback, the feedback which is given to you without any partiality, the feedback which is honest, the feedback which makes you to know your weaknesses, and the feedback which really appreciates your strong zones or positive zones. So such type of feedback, this effective feedback, we call that feedback as effective feedback. This effective feedback, it serves what? A powerful tool for the learners. For what? To provide valuable insights. To provide valuable insights, to provide guidance and motivation to enhance their writing abilities. A writer can receive valuable insight with the help of feedback. As I told you, you get to know how good your writing is. You get to know what are the different areas where you need to work on, where you need to work harder. What are the different areas which are excellent in you. So these valuable insights can be given to you by feedback only. And then it provides guidance to the writers. It guides you for many things, and it motivates to enhance their writing abilities. It is your feedback which provides you a motivation. So feedback should, now remember one thing, when you are providing a feedback to a writer, it should not be discouraging in nature. You cannot, though no doubt you may find any written material which is like trash to you. I should not say, or we should not say any written material or trash, because whatever it is somebody's hard work. So sometimes you may feel, no, this text is nothing. It's not having any value, no credibility, it's trash. But we cannot provide our feedback like this. Your writing is trash, you should give up. No, that's not a good way to give feedback. We should always give encouraging feedbacks. Like the subject matter, the title is awesome. It's good, but you can make it more interactive, you can make it more informative if you apply these things to your writing. Sometimes the whole title also may be dull. You can speak like this. You can better practice your writing style with some other burning or contemporary topic, so that you can get a good readership. This is an encouraging feedback. So feedback, it should motivate a writer to enhance his or her writing abilities. So this is the function of the feedback. Now, here are some key aspects of how feedback contributes to the improvement of writing skill. Here we'll see how this feedback it contributes to the writing skill. Let's see. How does the feedback contribute to the writing skill? We'll talk about it gives us identification of strengths and weaknesses. We come to know about our strength and about weakness with the help of feedback. As I told you, it is your feedback which is making an author, which is making a writer to identify or to allocate his weak and strong zones. Like it helps writers recognize their strengths, reinforcing positive aspects of their writing. So it is this feedback which lets a writer know, or which lets a writer to recognize his or her strength, to reinforce positive aspects of their writing so that they can reinforce, they can strengthen these positive aspects of your writing. Now see, you have been given a feedback, you are a writer, you wrote anything and you got a feedback like this. Your sentence structure is awesome. It's impressive. It's attractive. It's productive. It doesn't mean now you do not have to work on your sentence structure. So it means you need to just strengthen it. How can you strengthen your sentence structure? You have to maintain it. If there is anything, your vocabulary may be rich and you may get a feedback like the choice of your words is awesome. It's flawless, mind-blowing, constructive. So how can you reinforce it? How can you strengthen it? Obviously, you have a good vocabulary. Now, what will you do? You need to maintain it. Be consistent. Use this vocabulary in your upcoming write-ups. And try to add some more words. Try to enhance your vocabulary as well. So you can recognize these things when you receive feedback. So this is the function of a reader. It makes this is the function of a feedback. It makes the author aware about his strong zones. And it also gives a chance to the author to go with the strong zones which are there in his writing. Then, it identifies areas that need improvement, offering a roadmap for refining specific skills. It identifies areas that need improvement. So it is this feedback which lets an author know what the need that need improvement. So a writer can know the areas where he or she needs improvement. It is because of your feedback, and it offers a roadmap for refining specific skills. A writer can refine specific skills with the help of feedback. As I told you, your feedback, it lets you know about your strong and weak zones. So if there is any weak zone or if there is any weakness in your writing, you get to know about that weakness because of this feedback. So feedback allows you, feedback is giving you a chance to improve to work on your weaknesses. And when you start working on your weaknesses, obviously one day you will provide mind-blowing these write-ups. Your write-ups will be flawless. Your write-ups will be exemplary. So this is the function of the feedback. The second thing I would like to deliberate here on, that it's guidance for improvement. So it's your feedback, or I can say constructive feedback. It goes beyond pointing out errors. It's not like feedback is not meant to, you can point out the errors, you can point out mistakes, you can make an author recognize the mistakes only. No. It provides specific suggestions and guidance for improvement. Remember, when you are providing your feedback to someone, particularly when it comes to writing, to the domain of writing, when you are providing the feedback to a writer, it's not like you are counting his mistakes. It's not like you are only counting his errors. It is not like you are making him feel, see, there are 10 mistakes in your writing. There are 10 mistakes when it comes to your grammar. There are these mistakes when it comes to the concord. There are these mistakes when it comes to the vocabulary. So this only is not the feedback. Feedback means to provide some specific suggestions. Feedback includes to provide guidance for improvement. So when you provide guidance, when you provide specific suggestions, that feedback is called as constructive feedback. Or that feedback can be termed as effective feedback. That feedback is going to serve or going to help the author to guide for the improvement. It's that feedback which guides the author to make improvement or improvements in his or her writing. So this is the function of the feedback. Next, so writers can gain insights into effective writing strategies and techniques through feedback. Your writers, they can gain insights into effective writing strategies and techniques through feedback. So effective writing strategies, how can a writer know effective writing strategies? How can a writer get insight? See, when a writer is writing anything, he is a single person or she is a single person. Or sometimes there are write-ups which are people writing in collaboration. It can be maximum 2, 3, 4 people. I haven't seen texts like which are written by 10, 20 people. Even if there are 20 people as the writers, that's a smaller amount of the people. Because when you are making the text public, it goes beyond the boundaries. It goes across the globe. There is a huge readership to that text. So when any text is having such a huge viewership, such a huge readership, so that means these viewers, that means this text is being evaluated, is being examined by a lot of perspectives. And when different perspectives, when such lot of perspectives are examining a text, there are chances that the writer may get lot of insights for effective writing skills. Sometimes the best of the writers can be your readers. Because when you are writing, it goes to the public. And in the public, there are best of the writers. So these people can provide you the feedback which will let you know, which will let you to open the window by which you can see what are the effective writing strategies and techniques which you can employ in your reading. This all is possible with the help of feedback only. Then, clarification of expectations. One more important function of feedback in writing skill is this. There is a clarification of expectations. So feedback, it communicates expectations and criteria for successful writing. It's your feedback which communicates, which speaks, which transmits expectations and criteria for successful writing. It helps writers understand what is required for a given assignment or context. Sometimes you will be written on a given topic. You may be writing any assignment on a given topic. So when you are writing on that given topic, people are having some expectations from you. People want you to write some things, some expected elements. People want you to include some expected elements or some expected components in that write-up. If by chance, because we all are human beings, we don't have prophetic vision. So we do not know what are the expectations of the people. We do not know what people expect from my work, from my write-up. So your write-up may not be according to the expectations of your readers. When you are writing, it's not according to the expectations. It can be rectified, it can be mended, it can be updated, it can be revised by the help of feedback. People will let you know about their expectations. People will let you know that they want this stuff to be written in your write-up. They want these things to be included in your write-up with the help of feedback. So, I want to tell you this thing that you come to know about the expectations of the public with the help of feedback. And in other way, you come to know what you should write with the help of feedback. Because whenever you are writing anything, if it is informative in nature, if it is for the public, so obviously you need to take public on board. When you are not thinking about the public, when you are not thinking about the readers, you cannot produce a good write-up. When it is wholly and solely intended for the public, how can you write a text which does not think? Or before writing a text, how can you start a text when you do not include public opinion, the perspective of the people? So you need to take all these things in your mind. Then the next function of the feedback in writing skill is, or in improving writing skill is, motivation and confidence. It is this effective feedback, this constructive feedback, which improves motivation, which boosts motivation and confidence. It encourages writers to continue refining their skills. A writer can refine his or her skills with the help of feedback. Now, acknowledging improvements, even small ones, fosters a positive learning environment. How can a feedback boost your confidence and motivation? When you are writing anything and it becomes public, when people start praising you, when people acknowledge your improvements, obviously there may be a lot of things which are mind-blowing in your write-up, which are good in your write-up. People will appreciate that thing. People will accept that thing. People will praise those things which are good in your writing. And when you look upon those things, when you read such type of feedback, even if people like only the smaller portion of your writing, it boosts your confidence, it boosts your motivation. And you become motivated, you feel motivated to write something which is more public oriented, which is more good, which is best, which is the best. And it boosts your confidence. Because obviously when you are being praised by the people, when you are being praised by the readers, when your writing is being praised by it is being acknowledged by the people, so you feel, confidence level, it raises. Engagement in the revision process. It is feedback which brings you engagement in the revision process. I would like to say it like this. So, feedback, it plays a crucial role in the revision process. Why do you revise the things and how can you make the revision very engaging? There is one thing when we write anything, or when we are finished with any assignment, or when we finish any assignment, sometimes we become very lazy to revise the things, because any project which you are done with, obviously you are waiting for the culmination, you are waiting for the last moment when you are finishing that topic. So when you finish the topic and you come to know you have to revise it, sometimes it becomes boring for you. You don't want to revise the things which you have written with extra care, with extra attention. But it's your feedback. When you get a feedback lets you to know about the specific points or specific columns in your writing. So you when you are revising them, you become very engaged with that stuff. How are you engaged with that stuff? You become engaged with that stuff because you are revising a particular portion of that writing. So it is feedback which lets you to revise interestingly, which makes you engaged with a particular portion of your writing, and which you are revising in order to mend it, or in order to improve it, or in order to inculcate any change in that text. Writers can use feedback to revise and polish their work. Feedback is used to revise the work. And when you are revising, obviously there will be an improvement. So to polish their work, learning from mistakes and refining their approach. So you start learning from your mistakes and you start refining. Writers, they refine their approach and they learn from the mistakes. So it is feedback which gives you the chance. It is this feedback which gives you the chance to just learn something from your mistakes. Then there is another thing which I want to discuss with you, that is promotion of reflective practice. What does it mean, promotion of reflective practice? Constructive feedback, it encourages writers to reflect on their writing. So writers can reflect on their writing. You hardly get a chance to reflect on your writing when you are a writer, because your domain is to write for the public and it's people who reflect on your writing. You hardly get a chance to reflect on your writing. but it is the feedback which provides or which gives you a chance to reflect on your writing. So it's constructive feedback. It encourages writers for what? To reflect on their writing and promoting self-awareness and a deeper understanding. And when you look upon the feedback, you are promoting self-awareness. You become self-aware about your writing. You may not be aware about your writing because when you are writing anything, it goes to the public. And sometimes you may not have access to the people. Sometimes you do not know how people are accepting or how people are just taking your written material. So you can be a self-aware person, or you can promote self-awareness by the help of feedback. Because feedback lets you know what people is thinking or how people have received your written material. And you can develop a deeper understanding of your strengths and weaknesses with the help of feedback. So it's your feedback which lets you know about your strengths, about your weaknesses. It is the feedback which promotes self-awareness in a writer. It is your feedback, constructive feedback, which lets a writer to reflect on his or her writing. It's your feedback which helps you to revise your text, to make an engaged revision of your text. It's your feedback which helps you to polish your text once again. And it is the feedback which lets a writer to know or to learn from his mistakes and refine his or her approach. Then there is one more thing, that is peer collaboration and learning. What is this peer collaboration? Peer feedback fosters collaboration and a sense of community among writers. Learning from peers' perspectives can provide diverse insights and alternative approach to writing challenges. When you get this feedback from your companions, from other people who are associated with you, from your colleagues, and when you learn from the perspective of your companions, so they can provide you a diverse insights about your learning, about your writing challenge, about different writing challenges. The people who are also associated with the writing, when you get feedback from them, you also come to know about different writing challenges. Then the next point is customization to individual needs. Effective feedback is written or is tailored to individual needs, considering the writing skill level, goals, and areas for improvement. It is tailored to individual needs. So it is your feedback which customizes individual needs. So it is tailored, it's meant for the individual needs. And it considering the writer's skill level, goals, and areas for improvement. So this feedback is given while considering the writer's skill level in mind, his or her goals and area of improvement. Then personalized feedback addresses specific issues, making it more impactful and learner. Sometimes there is a personalized feedback. It addresses specific issues and it makes your writing stuff more impactful for the learner. Integration into the writing process. What is integration into the writing process? It incorporates feedback. Incorporating feedback at various stages of the writing process helps writers refine their work incrementally. So there is a kind of integration into the writing process. The writing process seems it's an integrated whole. So that when you incorporate this feedback at various stages of writing, it helps you to refine your work incrementally. So you are refining your work. There is a process. There is an integration. There is a development. There is a kind of increment in your writing. And writers, they can benefit from feedback during pre-writing, drafting, revising, and editing stages. So writers can benefit from the feedback at many stages, like pre-writing, the stage it is before writing, when you are formulating the thoughts in your minds. Feedback helps you there also. When you are drafting anything, when you are writing, when you are revising, at the end when you are editing any written document. So at all the stages, feedback is productive. It can help a writer at all these stages. Then, development of critical thinking skills. So, responding to feedback requires critical thinking. When you respond to the feedback, what it requires critical thinking. As writers evaluate and apply suggestions. So, feedback cannot be blindly understood. In order to just respond to the feedback, or in order to make changes according to the feedback, one needs to have a critical thinking. A writer must have a critical thinking, because sometimes feedback provided by the public or by the readers cannot be a good feedback, or feedback sometimes can be a complex one, but it is very important for your writing. So in order to understand the feedback, you must have a critical thinking as you are going to evaluate your text and you are going to apply suggestions in your text. So for all these things, feedback must be understood by using critical thinking ability. Then over time, writers develop the ability to assess their own work critically. Over time, sometimes writers develop the ability to assess their own work critically. Now, sometimes there are writers who have such a critical thinking skill, they can themselves assess their own work. They can themselves check the credibility of their own work. Then, long-term skill development. Now, consistent and quality feedback it provides to long-term skill development. If you are having a quality feedback and a consistent feedback, if the feedback is consistent and quality feedback, it can contribute to a long-term skill development. So a writer, while incorporating feedback, can identify or can mend his writing skill for a longer term. So it helps writers evolve and refine their writing abilities over time. A writer can better refine his or her writing abilities over time because of the feedback. So sometimes I must say that it is the effective feedback which can result in the effective writers, which can provide or which can make a writer a very effective writer. Cultivation of a developed mindset. Effective feedback fosters a developed mindset by emphasizing the idea that writing skill can be developed over time through effort and learning. It can cultivate a developed mindset in a writer, or a writer can cultivate a developed mindset, because effective feedback it can be used to develop. It can be used to develop the writing skill or to improve the writing skill through effort and learning. So if a writer comes to know this thing, that his or her writing skill can be developed through effort and learning, if a writer comes to know this thing by the feedback, or if your feedback contains these things, that the effective writing skill can be developed through effort and learning, so by that way we can say your feedback is going to foster a developed mindset in a writer. And writers, they are encouraged to see feedback not as a judgment of their abilities, but as an opportunity for growth and development. Now, writers should not just think negatively about the feedback. It is not something like a judgment of your writing. Rather, it is an opportunity for growth and development. For example, sometimes you may be writing a text, or you have written a text which is not of good quality. Obviously, you will receive the feedback which may be demanding you to just improve your quality, which may be clearly indicating the degrading status of your writing. Don't consider that this is a statement of judgment. Don't consider that people are judging your character or your writing style. You should take it in a positive way. You should take it an opportunity for the growth and development. If you take this feedback positively, if you start making changes in your write-up according to this feedback, then we can say you have turned this feedback into an opportunity by which you got growth and development in your writing style. Then, Enhancement of self-editing skills. So through feedback, a writer learns to become effective self-editor by internalizing the corrections and suggestions provided. Editing is a skill. Everybody is not a good editor. So when you are getting a constructive feedback by your readers, and when you are incorporating certain changes in your write-up according to the feedback, when you are doing this editing, so you are, on the other hand, you are getting this editing skill, and you become effective self-editor. You become an editor. Then over time, writers become more adept at recognizing and addressing common errors. So people or writers, they become skillful at recognizing and addressing common errors. By doing this continuous editing, revisions of your written text, so you become a skillful person to recognize and address common errors, leading to improved self-editing skills. So it will lead you to improved self-editing skills. You will learn self-editing skills. Then let's come to the conclusion. So I can say the role of feedback in improving writing skill is indispensable. It is inevitable for fostering a dynamic, progressive learning environment. It is the feedback to a writer which makes him a dynamic and a progressive writer, or it provides you a dynamic and progressive learning environment. A writer learns a lot of things with the help of feedback provided by the readers. It serves as a compass which guides writers towards a deeper understanding of their strengths and weaknesses. A writer learns or comes to know about his or her weaknesses and strengths by the help of feedback. Now, while offering tailored guidance for improvement, now by providing clarity on expectations, promoting reflection, and encouraging a growth, developed mindset, feedback becomes a catalyst for long-term skill development. It can provide clarity to the written material. It can provide an opportunity for a writer to write according to the expectation of the readers. It can a writer can promote reflection by the help of feedback. It can encourage to the developed mindset. We can say that it is feedback which plays the role of a catalyst for the long-term skill development. It plays the role of a catalyst. It makes the progress happen quickly, and it remains unchanged and inert. But the condition is this thing: every writer should take feedback positively. It is not like somebody is judging your character or your writing style. We should take this feedback in a positive way so that we can turn it into an opportunity by which we can learn different things. And as I told you, it's not confined to the correction only. It is a constructive dialogue which empowers writers to engage actively in writing process. It's not like people make you aware about certain corrections and mistakes and you are rectifying them. No, it's not only that. Rather, it empowers a writer to engage actively in the writing process. Sometimes when you are writing anything, you can commit some digressions. You may be derailed from your point of view. So it is the feedback which makes you an active writer, an effective writer. And a writer cultivates self-awareness. You become self-aware about your writing. Then, so through feedback, writers not only refine their writing skill, but also develop critical thinking. A writer, while just going through the feedback, acting according to the feedback, does not only refine his writing skill, but also becomes or cultivates the critical thinking ability. Because when you are taking the perception of lot of people, lot of your readers, so you are developing the critical ability. Because there is hundreds of feedback, hundreds of columns are there which contain feedback. And now to select the selected few, or to select the few among them, that can showcase your critical ability. Huh? And a writer becomes a skillful at self-editing. It's a feedback which makes you a self-editor. That's one of the great skills to learn. So the feedback loop integrated into various stages of writing process transforms writing from a static task to a continuous journey of improvement. It's your feedback which makes your journey of writing very improved journey, and it can bring improvement in your writing. It can bring a lot of improvement, and it's like, as I told you, it can provide you a learning environment. When it is a learning environment, obviously there will be improvement. So this is all for the lecture. If you want to know something more about the lecture, these are the references. You can go with the references and you can find something interesting regarding the concept, regarding the topic which I discussed with you. I would like to stop here. This is all for today. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.